Commanders, we have several picks in the first 3 rounds, the first 100 picks. And I mean, we've done mocks. I know you've done many mocks left and right. You hit me up earlier, said you gotten bored of them. You've done them so much, man. What should we focus on outside of that first pick? Where we go right here?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of consensus on quarterback and left tackle need to be our top 2 picks. That's kind of the easy one. And then so after that, it's kind of like, well, where else do we need to be focusing in that second round and early in that third round where we have, some of these additional picks? And looking at the depth chart, I'm actually changing from last week. I actually think cornerback is a bigger problem area than I had realized, and some of it has to do with we don't know what our coaching staff is going to be able to get out of Emmanuel Forbes or St-Juste. They brought in, a corner from the Chargers as well, but that's not an impressive group on paper. And so I'm kind of looking at maybe we need to be addressing this a little bit earlier than I originally thought to get somebody that fits their scheme that they know is going to work. I mean, they may work wonders with Forbes. They may work wonders with St-Juste and turning them into better ball players. But would it be nice to start with a foundational piece that they know coming in, this is the guy that plays the way we want him to play. So I think corner is kind of important. The other one I look at is tight end. Yeah. And again, that's a shift from last week. I just look at the fact that Zach Ertz, he signed a 1-year deal for a reason. He hasn't played a full season in several years. Yeah. So, he's not meant to come in here and have a huge workload, but you got Zach Ertz, who's been injured the last couple of years. You got Bates, who's a blocker. You got an Armani Rogers that they liked, but he's coming off an Achilles injury. Cole Turner hasn't proven anything. So it's like we've got a spot there for a tight end to come in and be very productive and be our feature guy next year. And I just think that's a position group that I'm now thinking we need to address earlier than I originally thought. So those are kind of two positions that I'd like to see us improve upon by the end of Friday night.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And to piggyback on your cornerback, one of the things, I had mentioned that before, but I was leaning just towards cornerback. But now in hindsight and looking at the depth chart, we need to look at all the secondary. I mean, we need to look at safeties as well because we're really thin with our depth at that position. I mean, we talked about, one of the guys, Mike Davis or somebody. We don't even know some of the guys that we've picked up. So I think that's something that we need to look at. And then also, the elephant in the room, the hole that we lost both of our main edge guys last year. I do think that's something we need to focus on. And if we talked about there might be a run of tackles, which is obviously our number 2 biggest issue. But if we do trade back in or have an opportunity where maybe either we trade up or one of these not big name, but one of these effective edge guys drops to us. I've seen a couple guys I've talked to you about Robinson out of Missouri. If these guys should drop to us, I definitely think we have to consider I think we have to consider it if he's there and there's no lineman or some other position that we're really focused on. I think we have to because we have the luxury to do that, but also that's a hole, and we have not addressed that. And all the things that we've done in free agency, we got linebacker, secondary, O-line, but we didn't really touch. I mean, Dorrance Armstrong is a little bit of an edge, but we didn't really touch edge, and I think that's somewhere we can look at now. And then you talk about tight end, looking into it more and more. I mean, wide receiver as well. I mean, Jahan, we were hoping that we get what he got in what we had in the first year. Yeah. Terry, we know he's consistent, but I mean, he's always middle of the road type thing. I mean, gives you 1,000, gives you some good numbers, but we've clearly seen that we don't focus on him. Right. So I honestly think we could stand to get a guy at wide receiver. We've always wanted a big body guy, somebody that could, go up there and get the jump balls in the end zone like a Mike Evans type. I wanted to get him in the offseason. So
yes, you did.
Yeah, I wanted to go all in on him. So I definitely think that's somewhere we need to start keeping our eyes open for. Maybe not be the number one focus, but if some of these players are available at that particular time, I definitely think that's somewhere we need to take a look at.
Absolutely. No, I mean, you're right. If one of these guys, like, if a Chop Robinson falls and he's there at 36, yep. Oh, how do you say no to that? To the guy who's going to really get you some big time plays or snaps this season, next season. You're right. There's a lot of enticement there, and wide receiver as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
Nathan's sticking with his own agenda and not listening to everybody else. And Nathan, you're right. We need a strong offensive line.
Yeah. And I mean, and to Nathan's point on getting that O-line, I mean, we would be smart to emulate the Detroit Lions, who incidentally today just paid I think Amon-Ra got to give him an extension, and they gave Penei Sewell an extension. And they went and did that. They got a veteran quarterback in Jared Goff, but they went and got their big name left tackle, and he's definitely proven to work out. Now, we don't have a quarterback. So
that's a big part.
That's kind of where we need to focus. But I see where you're coming from, Nathan, because I do like that, man.
Tom, why you got to bring up Amon-Ra? Because I'm going to bring up the fact that we could have gotten him, and instead we got who? Who did we draft?
Look. My thing is, all right, I understand. Amon-Ra has far exceeded my guy, Dyami Brown. But why, when they interviewed Amon-Ra, did he have to say, I look at guys like Dyami Brown, like, that guy was drafted? I'm like, come on, man. You already crushed us. Why you got to talk about my guy? You see he's having a hard time.
He's down on the ground. Why you got to kick him?
Come on now. Well, shout out to him. He's balling out, and they're getting it.
Dun, 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 dun.
Let's go. The Washington Commanders. There it is.